Hello everyone. I am Srikama Shaha from the Media Communication batch of 2022 and I will be your host for this live chat. Thank you all for joining it. We have gathered here today for a live session with Aishwarya Ganesh, an alumna from the 2017 batch. Aishwarya is currently working as a brand services director at Leo Burnett. A digital native, her portfolio includes a variety of experiences, from working as a teacher at an NGO to being a copywriter and a designer at renowned agencies. She has tried various roles before finding her niche in business role with account management. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for joining us today. Aishwarya, you can now switch on your camera.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for that, Shrikama.
Hi.
I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Also, before we begin, a quick note for the participants. Please note down your questions in the Q&A section below and Aishwarya shall answer them at the end of the session. All right, so let's begin.
Yes.
So to start with, obviously we would want to know about your SCMC journey. Like, how was it from being a curious student to a toiling intern and then finally a graduate and now you're working? So how was the entire experience like?
So SCMC for me, honestly, the journey has been fantastic. Everyone who knows me can vouch for one thing, that both personally and professionally, SCMC has been pivotal in just helping me figure out who I am and figure out what I want to do. So for me, SCMC is always going to be, the journey is going to be very close to my heart.
Oh, sweet. So, since we're talking about media, so when did you decide to pursue a career in this field? And how has your course as well as your internship experiences been in helping you gain a footwork in what you want to do when you were starting out in the industry?
To be honest, when I had just joined college, I knew that I wanted to do media, but I wasn't very sure on what exactly within media. I mean, the dynamic, field work of media was exciting, but honestly, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I think what really helped me was the fact that the course itself is structured in a very nice way. Like, in your first year, you do all of the courses. You do everything from psychology to economics to film to this to that. So it does help you understand what media is overall instead of just getting into some specialization.
Right.
Then second year, you get to have like a filter of marketing versus mass comm. So once you have that idea, second year, you put that. So by the time you're in your third year, you do see yourself in the future working in one of the four specializations. So definitely, I think the course structure itself is designed to help people figure out what exactly they want to do. So honestly, I relied on the college structure to help me figure that out. And of course, the internships kind of seal it, right? Because otherwise, you're in college, you're learning, you're learning things, but then the internships kind of seal the deal for you. You work there and you actually understand for 2 months, 2 into 2, right? 2 industry internships. So yeah, that's it was college that sort of helped me figure this out.
Yeah. So now that you were talking about different internships that you did, as well as a small project that we keep on doing throughout the year, you have been in various roles, and from being a studentpreneur to a teacher at an NGO to a copywriter. How did this entire experience help you in finding your niche?
So like I said, of course, the NGO part of it and the studentpreneur part of it was just, I think there was just so much opportunity. That was just the energy of the place to, just do stuff. But when it comes to like trying out different departments, that's the best part of media industry, I think. The fact that, like, for example, within advertising, if I were to say that I'm a copywriter, it will never hurt me to also know aspects of design. It will never hurt me to also know aspects of media or business. It's the idea is that it's always evolving. So it's always a good thing at this point in our lives, right? When right after college or during internship is when you can actually explore, figure out what you want to do, so that when you finally decide that this is my niche, you're 100% sure of it. So this is a time to explore and like do as many departments as you want.
Right. Yeah. So now we have come to the most critical question, and literally so relevant right now, that you have worked in the industry before pandemic, and now you're working like from the work from home situation. So how different is online in terms of traditional working from the office, or how is it bad or good, or what is your opinion?
It's not bad or good. The idea is that we've all adapted very well to it, and we had to. It's not like it was a negotiable item to start with. We've all adapted well to it. I think the biggest, personally, I feel like work from home can be very productive. I loved working from office. There are some things of just meeting people. Like for example, a first day when you go to office versus a first day online, very different. So there are some very obvious differences between the two, but I don't think this is a question of good or bad at all. It's just about how you structure your day, how what you take out of it. And this is for the last year and a half, this has been our reality. It's not like we chose this, right? This is just something that happened and we all had to, like, even I'm sure even college has adapted to it. So it's about what you do with it. It's not, I don't think there are negatives even to working from office. So that's always there.
So like holding on to that, like most of the like many companies have decided to keep it as a lifelong structure of working from home.
Right.
So how do you think that in the past 1.5 years it has grown on us, the work from home culture? And also if you, I mean, now that things are hopefully getting better, so do you think that, what would you prefer to do? Do you want to go back to office? Like, I'm not saying as an option, but like if you were given a chance, would you want to go back to office, or do you want to continue from home?
Personally, I think I would love a hybrid model where we could work from home, and as the case may rise, where we all need to be, like for example, for important meetings, for client presentations, etc., we go back to office and we all meet people. And I think a hybrid model is what would make sense. But again, now that's very specific to industries where that makes sense, right? Now, if you look at film, for example, what are you going to do from home?
Right.
How much are you going to shoot from home, right? So it really depends on which industry, even journalism for that matter. How much are you going to sit at home and keep, like, this thing? Maybe advertising is something that has the scope. PR also to a certain extent, but I think with film and journalism, it's necessary to go out. For advertising, personally, I think a hybrid model would make both human and business sense.
Yeah, you're right. Like now that we are starting out with our industry internships, it's very difficult to manage it online. It makes no sense actually.
Yeah, I can
so yeah, like working from home doesn't mean that we work 24/7, but then I mean people are still not very, I mean, used to it. So what would be your tips on maintaining a work-life balance that when both of them often exist in the same house, in the same room?
So I think with work-life balance, and this is a conversation that's been, I'm sure you'd know, this is a conversation that's been around, especially in advertising, for a long time. How do we draw the line? How do we make those boundaries? So I think one way that you can maintain work-life balance is to really define what that balance is for you. Right now, when the line between office and home is so blurry, wherein like my bed is over here and my work table is over here, there is really no I can keep going here and there, right? So by define that balance, I mean that right now it's very important for you to plan even your time off. Um, if I need to take some time off for whatever, I just want to chill, I want to go out, I want to do something. I think it's important that we account for that in our day so that we're able to close work at a certain time. Because unlike office, you can't just step out of your office and then switch off. Over here, you'll really have to put that effort to switch off. So I think planning even a little bit of time off is the right way to achieve it.
Right, right. So as I mentioned before, we are starting internships, and many of our attendees are about to start their jobs, like all the third years, internships, and also the aspirants who are going to join virtually for the classes. So what tips would you give to them in order to adapt to the work from home culture, and how can one be proactive without burning out, and how to manage time, work, and create a sense of order, like, and not be in middle of a chaos?
Okay, so this is actually a tip that my brother gave me, which I think is absolute golden words, which is to have a very clear workspace. And in that workspace, I don't eat my food, I don't watch movies, I don't do anything. It's a very small, thing to do, but it really makes a difference. To have like in your home, create a space wherein you don't go in your pajamas, you go dressed up for work. Sorry, I think my net is a little unstable. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So actually having a very clear workspace is something that I think will have great results. Secondly, like I said before, having a routine in place. We don't want to tumble out of bed and into our chair and get to meetings in the morning. And it's very easy to do that because who's going to find out, right? But it does impact productivity. It does, come in the middle of how you, even if you're just on audio, it does make a difference. So I think just to be a little have a certain degree of self-discipline for that. And another thing is that since they are, like you said, you're entering an internship wherein you're not going to probably meet your manager, you're not going to meet the people who are responsible for teaching you a lot of things, right? So I think it's important that from day one, you communicate with them. Don't get afraid that, oh, now I haven't seen them, I don't know if they're busy. Just whenever you can from day one, you should go and speak to your managers, find 2-3 colleagues at the organization who will be able to explain. Always have an anchor at the organization so that someone from inside can help you learn, especially right now, because right now you can't, if for example you're at an internship real time at office, and I see you that, oh, she's chilling all day, I'll give her work, but right now I won't even know. Right? Because I myself, as if I'm working, I'm going to have so much to do that the intern is probably not going to, I'm going to forget that usko bhi, I need to train her. So I think it's important that you're proactive with communicating with your managers. It's okay to tell them that you're here to learn this. If you want something specific, if you want to understand something about a certain department, you want to work on a certain project, this is your golden opportunity when nobody questions you. Your proactiveness is it's only appreciated, and that's exactly what they're looking for in interns also. So that is one. And then generally I think important to take stock of what you've achieved in the day. This is something that this is a general work from home tip, and especially as interns or as even freshers, to make sure that you're not just sort of going with the waves and figuring it out. I think it's good to take stock of your day every day when you close the day. That is something that will be very helpful.
Yeah, right. That was very helpful. So yeah, now we'll go back to your college days, okay? All right. So tell me, how was it being the part of the
Sorry,
first ever?
I'm losing your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Tell me.
Yeah. So,
Huh.
how you were a part of the first ever All India Design and Media Fest, DESMA. What was your experience like working with sister colleges, and what were the challenges that you faced while working with so many different teams?
So, Desma brings back some really good memories because I think it was the year that it was our, like, when we were in college was when it launched, right? It was, I mean, honestly, Simbi has so many amazing fests that our calendar was basically one fest to the other and one like event to the other. So we were always looking forward to these. Desma was particularly special because we sort of started from scratch. Um, to put it simply as a challenge, I would say, it was like we were all 17, 18-year-olds who wanted to like go and chill and like have a great time at the fest. But then there was also like this young adult in us who had been given the responsibility of managing the fest. So we
Yeah.
were like, no, no, we got to do this. And I mean, Pune is great. There are so many, even our sister colleges, just people that are great. I think it's a good opportunity to get a little out of our media, advertising, film, conversation, and just see what's happening in the other, like what's happening in design, what's happening in MBA, sorry, BBA. So it's a great opportunity to make friends, meet people, and being part of like teams that manage these college events, whether it's DESMA or any, I think they teach you a lot about just having responsibility because for a large part of you know our lives until then our actions don't have many consequences, to put it simply. With Desma, it was a good responsibility we all had, like how to work as a group, how to work with people, how to meet deadlines, a lot of things. So definitely Desma was a very big learning experience for all of us, and we made lots of mistakes. Lots of them.
Yeah. So, like, what are the top three things that you still carry from college? Like, I mean, what were the three top memories or anything? What are the three things that are that are still relevant to you?
I think the three things from college would be um, most important would be I learned how to meet deadlines and I learned how to take deadlines seriously. And that's a very important thing. Like
Yeah,
once you start working, believe me, people who meet deadlines and people who manage their time well are really, really the ones who are able to all those other questions you asked me about work-life balance and like managing and organized and all of that. It all comes from time management and meeting deadlines and like, charting your day out. So definitely that's something that I before college was not great at all. During college is the time when I actually picked up that skill. Other than that, maybe again, staying organized was something that I picked up in college.
yeah,
Another very important thing was just having like self confidence. I remember Kavita ma'am only used to always tell me that it's okay if you're not even if you're not feeling that distinct, do it, and then see how it goes. So that is something that even today, like if I'm in a meeting with clients and I'm not feeling great, I feel like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I think college really helped me sort of because of how many times they would put us out there and make us sort of take
yeah.
responsibility and do things. It really helped me gain that confidence. So I think these are the three things.
Okay,
And of course,
now,
to have fun
yeah.
but be disciplined.
Yeah. So, like, I have to ask you about three things, but I know there are innumerable other things. So, what would be your favorite memory? I know again that it's very difficult to choose one, but still, like,
Hmm.
that one memory from college.
My there are like you said there are so many,
Yeah.
but the one that's I think the best one would be we have Vavidya the fest, right? We have that like inter-batch fest, first year versus second year versus third year. Um, that was honestly like we used to wait for that every year. Vavidya was like a milestone moment in college because the energy of the like just the halls, the people, everybody is like, "Arey, you're doing chunari, I'm doing this. Arey, wo log third year is doing this song." So I think that was something that I will never forget. For me, every year Desma has been such a blast. The whole college, we used to get like faculty also involved that listen, you have to like, you are on second year wala side. It was just the energy of college is crazy that time. So for me, there's Vavidya would be the most exciting memory.
Right. We had Vavidya once and then pandemic happened. So yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll figure your way around. Like you figured out how to study. You will also.
We
How is
did have.
Vavidya happening this time?
We did not have Vavidya, but we had Satrang instead. That that is a new fest that we have that college has organized. So we had the entire experience last August, and there are many debate functions as well. So everything is done online. And then, you still miss the chill ride of sitting in hall and then doing stuff and watching everything or even participating. But yeah, like as you said, we have to adapt to it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So any tips for your juniors on how to make the most of the SCMC journey, like us, first year, second year, third years?
So for juniors, it would just be that college will provide you with everything. The course is there, the clubs are there, the great events are there. I think everybody's college journey experience is carved by themselves. So you have to make the most of it. You have to absorb the right things. You have to, figure out, use the faculty, use the people you meet to figure out what you want to do. So only you can make the most of it. The college is there, like the college is providing you with everything. Now, what you do with that is something that you should always keep, like in the larger pandemic and we are not in college and this and that. Don't lose out on what's right in front of you. So that would be my tip for all the batches.
Right. So, and how, what kind of experience should aspirants look forward to when applying at SCMC? Now that set is coming up. So.
Oh, yeah. Set. So I think they should expect a very wholesome experience. The way I know SCMC is a place that adapts to things really well. It's always evolving. Even the 3 years that I was there, it was always evolving. So, I mean, with the internships and with the kind of course that you have and just the people you meet, I mean, I know that one thing about SCMC is that you always have the best of people coming in. So just expect a very wholesome college experience. It doesn't matter, like no pandemic can stop you from having a great college experience. That is for sure.
Right. That was definitely very interesting, Aishwarya. Thank you for joining and giving us a very guidance on how to keep things going, even in a pandemic. But before we wrap up for the day, we have many questions coming in, okay? So I'll be filtering and asking you questions. So the first question that I have for you right now from our attendees is, how does one get creative freedom when working from home, and also how to get over a creative block?
Very interesting question. So, how to get creative freedom when working from home? Honestly, it's the creative process, as we say, right? It's different for everybody. So I think what's important here is to figure out exactly where your creative process is. So for example, for me, my creative process involves talking to people first, doing a little bit of research about like campaigns. For example, if I'm thinking of campaigns, It involves like doing a bit of research and talking to people. Now, your creative process might be different from that. Whatever it is, first try and identify what that is, and simply apply it in a work from home setting. Genuinely, I mean, I know, like if it's talking to people, if it's calling up like 2 3 people and having like a say brainstorm on video, keep your video cameras on. It will genuinely feel like you know a little closer to reality as it is. So I think it's important that you identify what your creative process is, and apply it in this setting. I don't think that work from home should stop you. Of course, it will create a lot more blockage. And even if that doesn't help, one thing you could do is change your setting, like wherever you are. Go to a friend's house if it's okay at that time. Move somewhere else. Go to a garden in your own building. Sit in your balcony. Sit in another part of the house. I think just changing the environment we're in helps a lot in just breaking that creative block.
Right.
And
Also, so
also, if you're blocked, just take a
yeah.
break.
Okay.
Inform your like whoever you need to inform and say, I need some time. I'm completely blocked, and you'll be surprised at how much help will come your way.
Okay, I'll hold on to that. Okay. So the next two questions are very similar, but they're very important. So what matters more in an internship? The company name or the work experience? Or yeah.
um, Definitely between the two, work experience matters a lot more.
Yeah.
Your internship, and I completely get it, right? Even when I was interning, I was like, oh, I need to be at like an organization that is going to give a lot of values. It has to be a certain name.
Yeah.
It is important, sure. It's a great tick mark to have on your CV, but there's no point if you're going to go to a large organization and then do nothing there, right? So your experience will definitely matter a lot more. Also, because you're there for 2 months, and those 2 months, the purpose of those 2 months is to learn and figure out whether this is something that works for you or not. So definitely go after the experience.
Yeah, right. So along with that, what is your opinion on paid and unpaid internships now that you have worked with so many undergrads and freshers, and you were also an intern at one point? So what is your take on paid and unpaid internships?
I think having like a basic stipend is something that's picking up overall in the industry. Definitely, you're not like when you're interning, you're not going for the money. You're not going to like that's not the purpose at all. Having said that, it is important to have some kind of stipend because it is time, it is effort, it is making a business benefit for you. So for example, if Shritama is like in working in my team, I'm going to make her do some work that is eventually benefiting the company. So I think a basic stipend is a fair ask, but at the same time, the experience cannot, come lower than the, it is not as important as the experience.
Right. Like I also believe that if a basic stipend is given, it actually boosts you. Like even if you're not doing it for the money, but it's still like you have a better you have a better feedback of the company as well. That they're paying me, I'm learning, and like it encompasses everything practically.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. Okay. So next question is, what exactly is copywriting and how to improve it?
What exactly is copywriting and how to improve it?
Yeah.
I wish I could see the person who's asked this. But okay. No, that's a great question because I joined my first organization as a copywriter having similar questions. I had joined also. Copywriting is essentially, it depends on like whether you're doing mainline or you're doing social media advertising or you're doing digital or you're doing e-com. It really depends. But in a nutshell, copywriting is essentially just giving a creative structure through your words to any communication. So it could be anything. It could be an ad film. It could be a single social media post. It could be an e-commerce banner. Wherever, whatever you're talking about, copywriting is essentially, it's not just writing one like ad line, like how we have a typical sense of copywriting that I have to write one cool line, googly googly whoosh was my copywriting. No, googly googly whoosh was one communication line that after many rounds of thinking they arrived at. Copywriting is thinking, your first 100 versions where you're like, okay, baby soft cheeks, how do I, like the thought. So copywriting is like a proper creative structure you give to any communication. And how to improve it? I think the best way to improve it is at this point, is to just do a lot of like referencing, pick up 2-3 categories that interest you, platforms that interest you, and keep looking at, like, observing how things are written. Because as consumers, right, like as people who are targeted with these ads, we don't see them as post copy, image copy. We see things as caption. Oh, there was this like post and then there was a caption. We aren't actually so attentive. As advertisers or marketers, we pay that much attention to things and say, nahi, line mein, we should have this. So have that, like, the best way to improve or to be good at it is to always have like, yes, I'm a marketer writing this, but I'm also a consumer. Will I really be interested in this?
Right. Okay. Thank you. Acha. All right. So the next question and the final question that we have, actually we have a lot of questions and I've just asked you 5 out of them because we have time restrictions. Okay.
Yeah.
So any tips on cracking the set interview and how to prepare for the interview round as well as the written round?
So I think the set interview, and I think there are like 4-5 different rounds, right? Different things. There's a group discussion, if I'm not wrong. There are multiple layers to it. I mean, in my experience, we go in, especially after college, we go in like very proudly holding our 12th certificate. My board exams, I killed it. Nobody can stop me now. So I think we go in with that, but let your personality really shine through in your interviews. Whatever that may be, you don't have to be a certain type of person to fit in over here. I think what's really appreciated in interviews and these discussions, what they're really looking for is, do you like own who you are? Are you able to, you don't have to be a dancer and a singer and a this and have done like, work at 5 NGOs. You don't have to do all of that. I think if you just can go there and own who you are, talk about whatever your marks are, whatever your experiences, talk about it like it's yours. I think that's the way to crack it. Just be relaxed. Don't be like strung up. Be relaxed and just go in really, showing that this is who I am and this is the reason I want to. Also have a very clear purpose on why you want to be there. That really helps. You don't have to be very specific about it, but just know why you're choosing what you're choosing. So these are the 2 things that will help.
Right, I remember this. Even Kavita ma'am had interviewed me actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So we still have a lot of questions coming in, but due to time limitations, we have to restrict ourselves here. But I hope Aishwarya will be able to take this discussion outside of this forum and seek your support.
Definitely. You can just, all these questions, you can just tell them. I'll send you maybe my LinkedIn profile and you can just tell them to reach out to me there.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for taking the time.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Yeah, to share your interesting experiences with us. And I'm sure it gives us all a very good framework for making the most of our college years. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all of our attendees for joining this session. And we look forward to providing you with many more informative interactions in the future. Thank you, Aishwarya. Until the next time. Thank you. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Stay home. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.